Hey everybody, what's going on? This is a video I've wanted to make for a little bit. I kind of wanted to showcase Jinglehunter. He's been one of my favorite champs since I started playing the game, and he got a buff a while back, and I never did really specifically go over it, so that's what I want to go over today. As I said, Jinglehunter was one of my favorite champs from pretty early on. I think I like his design. I think it's really cool. I like the concept. And I think he had a really interesting kit. He was one of my first Net 4s on my original account. And I always thought that he was really cool. And I always wished there was a little bit more to his second skill, which we're going to talk about. I always thought it needed a buff, and then they buffed it. And it just kind of got, I don't know that it got talked about much, and I wanted to show you guys that Jinglehunter is actually pretty dope. The reason that I thought he was good when I pulled him so early on, one of the things that stood out to me was the arena speed lead, the 24% arena speed lead. That's a really good arena speed lead, especially if you're trying to build a cleave comp. And he is an interesting, I wouldn't call him exactly a cleave champ, but he definitely fits in well to that type, that speedy type of comp. So that's kind of what we're going to go over today. It's not going to be so much a cleave comp tutorial as much as showcasing Jinglehunter, but I will cover it a little bit in this video as well. But let's talk about his kit real quick. His A1 2-hitter has decreased speed. Nothing too fancy there. I guess it gives him a little bit of Fire Knight utility if you wanted to try to use him in there with the slow and the 2-hitter. Not really his big claim to fame. What I really like about him is this skill. Attacks one enemy, has a 90% chance of placing a freeze debuff on all enemies for one turn if this attack kills an enemy. Now, when I first pulled him early on, I believe it was like a 30% chance maybe, or a 35 by default, and then skilled up it said it was 50, and it just felt like it procced so much less than 50%. It felt like I saw it happen so much less, even with the accuracy on him. So now, skilled up, it is a 100% chance, and you just have to have accuracy on him for him to land it, which I think is a lot better for a skill like this, because not only do you have to set him up to get a kill, he has to then get the kill, then the freeze would have to proc, then the accuracy would have to roll. I just thought it was too many steps to go through for something like that. So I really like the buff. I really like the buff that they gave this guy. The skill has good multipliers, which we'll see when we go in and check him out. And then to top it off, he's got a third skill, attacks all enemies, it decreases turn meter by 20% if he crits, and fills his own turn meter by 10% if he crits. The multipliers on this one might surprise you a little bit too. It is not a bad AoE skill, especially one to follow up what will be done by the time he gets his next turn, because obviously you'll start the fight off with this one, try to take someone out of the fight, freeze all the enemies, then come in behind, assuming you don't have a champ that is going to clean up for you. He will come in behind and clean up. So if we'll take a look at his masteries real quick, basically kind of the same way you would do an AoE nuker or someone that's designed to fit into a cleave. Everything that boosts first turn damage. So crit rate, crit damage, then attacking with full HP, we gave him the bump. We worked our way down over here to give him first hit damage on each enemy, and cooldown reduction when he does damage that exceeds 30% of an enemy's max HP, which he almost always will if you have the crit on him. And then we worked him down to flawless execution, have the crit damage. Then over here we bumped his accuracy up a little bit, gave him a better... I did this before he got buffed, and I haven't bothered to go in and change it. But this was nice to have before the buff. Now it's a 100% chance. It can't get any better than this, than it currently is. Now you just need accuracy, but standard stuff over here. So we're going to head over to Arena and talk about the setup. I'll give you some ideas of substitutions you can use, and then we're going to pop in and test this team out a little bit. Or test him out, I should say. Now what I'm going to do is, since this is designed to showcase him, I am going to be using Arbiter in the team, but I guess just for the purposes of showcasing him, we'll let him be the speed lead. Now, I'm putting Arbiter in this spot. You don't have to have Arbiter to use a cleave. Seeker is probably the next best option for this because he's got a really good boost and an attack buff in the same skill, so he fills both roles. But any booster here would work. Lissandra's fantastic. Gorg works. There are other attack bar boosters in the game, right? So whoever you have there, obviously Apothecary is a good booster, and he's also going to be on the team, actually, as kind of insurance, because I haven't very tightly speed-tuned Jinglehunter, so Apothecary is going to close that gap for us. to ensure Jinglehunter gets a turn. And then for the other spot, obviously we're using Madame Saris because she has an AoE defense break. Now again, it doesn't have to be Madame Saris. It can be War Maiden, it can be Zargala. There are a lot of other options for good AoE defense breaks, but this is what we're going to run with here. So we're relying on Jinglehunter's damage to win the fights here, because again, the goal is to showcase myself. Let's pop on in and see what we can make happen. So obviously we're going to boost. We're going to put the defense break up. We're going to boost again. And now we just go after whoever we have advantage over and whoever we think we can kill. In this case, it's going to be her. So we'll A2 her. 94,000 crit. We only landed one freeze that time. I could put more accuracy on him for sure, but you know, it is what it is. I think we're still going to be all right. We won't use that just yet. And we'll do that, I guess. We'll hit you, because why not? Now we get to see his A3 damage, though. That's pretty good. 67,000, 60,000, 50-something thousand. That's not bad. Considering I think that his real shine, like his real point is that A2, I think hitting 60k. I mean, we hit 94k on the A2 and it's single target multipliers. He hit almost 70 with the A3 on an AoE multiplier. You could almost start the fight with his A3, to be honest, but it's really cool. And that was I feel like that was a rare. I would almost guarantee he lands more freezes this time. Bam. Hold enemy teams frozen. So now if they were going to get turns, like if they were going to cut in, now this prevents it. This locks down the reviver. It's just so nice. It's so handy. And they're going to be frozen, so unless they're on Relentless or something, they're not going to get another turn, which means he's going to be able to come in again behind with the A3 and clean everybody up. Even with the Alpha Affinity, we were able to get Gorg out. But it gives you the opportunity to kind of target. And again, if you tightly speed tuned, you wouldn't have to have Apothecary in here, which means you could have another damage dealer. You could have more crowd control if you wanted to follow up on that for more insurance. Someone like a monster would bring some decent insurance. There are a lot of other options you could run there. But for what we're doing today, we're just using Apothecary. But there's a lot of other directions you could go with this, depending on what you have at your disposal. But even with us just using him, let's get you out. See what I mean? Especially if he's got Affinity, it's almost a guaranteed kill. Now we can go after the Reviver to try to make sure she doesn't get to bring back the person we just killed. Did I not boost with him? I didn't even bother boosting with him that time, did I? Well, let's go ahead and do this and let him cut back in. I guess it's a good thing they didn't cut, huh? Now we are off Affinity here, which is a little annoying, but we're still going to be alright. We'll get Monster out of the fight, and that'll be a wrap. Apothecary's not going to be able to hang on for too long. Oh, you gotta love Monster, though. And the cooldown on it is not that long, which, if the fight happens to go on for a minute and you've set up a comp that can survive for a minute, we'll just hit a refresh and we'll do one more. I think you pretty much get the gist of it at this point, but let's go ahead and do one more. I don't guess it really matters which one. I just wanted you guys to see this is one of those champs that I think is pretty cool. Maybe kind of niche usage, kind of a specific setup. I do think there's a little bit of Fire Knight utility, the AoE turn meter reduction in the waves, which would also apply to the boss, the A1 multi-hit with the slow, decent burst damage out of the A2. I think there's potential there. We're going to try to get Krisk out of here because I hate Krisk, and he's the only one that we're not weak against here. We land the crit. We got him out of here. Let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna get Ray out of here so she doesn't smack the life out of us. All right, we'll auto that out. So yeah, that pretty much, again, wraps it up. I think Jinglehunter's a cool champ. I think if you've got him lying around, particularly if you're early or mid-game, I think he's going to make your life a lot easier. The arena speed lead, some cool stuff going on. I think maybe if you guys are interested in him, maybe I'll try to play around with him in Fire Knight and see if we can come up with something interesting there. He is definitely a bit of a glass cannon, so keeping him alive might be a little bit of a challenge in the later stages of Fire Knight anyway. But we can take a look at it and see what we can figure out. Maybe his utility alone would be worth making him tanky, taking him in there and seeing how it goes. But that's it. Just wanted to show him off. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like stuff like this, let me know. I'll work on some other champs that maybe aren't quite as popular and show you guys some stuff you can do with them. Other than that, I'm working on some clan boss stuff. I actually wanted to get a clan boss video up this morning if I can just rant for just a minute at the end of the video. I spent about 3.5 hours figuring out, ran into some issues with the clan boss team, trying to get it sorted out. I'm hoping to have it up for you guys in the next couple of days. Apparently there's a couple of other things I'm going to have to do and build to make it work and give you guys the substitutions I want to be able to give you in that video. But there is another clan boss, a couple of clan boss videos coming soon. So just an aggravating morning. Wanted to mention it at the end of the video for anybody still here. That's it. I appreciate you guys watching. Yeah, I'll see you later.